All chilling. It was me, my brother Josh, and Brandon Keeney. We were all chilling at my house. Josh walks in, rips off his shirt, of course. And he's like, "With a body this good, you don't need a shirt." So right after that, we walk outside, and my brother's riding his bike around. And he pushes my brother off the bike completely. He just like watches him slide and laughs at him. Gets on the bike, starts riding down the street, and then he falls. So he gets up, and he's like all scraped up on the back. And I was like, "Hey man, maybe if you wore a shirt, that wouldn't have hurt so bad." He's like, "Now I know what shirts are for." So,
oh my God.
I love you, bro. I miss you. Happy birthday.
My favorite memories, last year or sophomore year, Josh would come in late every single day. And I just remember one day he came in like literally 45 minutes late. And I was like, "Where were you for 45 minutes? And he's like, "Oh, Jake left without me this morning." And he was like dripping sweat, and it was 105 degrees outside. And Mr. Reed was on his case for being so late, and he didn't even want to hear it, so he got mad, and he like got up from his desk and walked out to go get a drink of water. And that was probably like the funniest memory I have with him. So happy birthday, Josh. Miss you.
Okay, I didn't really have a lot of memories with Josh outside of school, but I remember in 7th period, all the time he would just always randomly look at me and put his hand up, and I'd always give him a high five, because, I don't know, I just really liked it because it was reassurance that he really cared about his friends, and I don't know, like he wasn't just someone there, he actually like really cared about you. So I just want to say I love you, Josh, and I miss you, and happy birthday, and I'll always be a day older than you, so.
So I just really miss being able to talk to you every day in between the hallways, and you were always making everybody laugh. So I love you, and happy birthday, Josh.
Whenever we went to work at the Texas Wedding Mall, we had a job at Ratama, and whenever we got there, we had to get there at like 6 in the morning. And I remember we had no idea where we were going, and we pulled in to, I don't even know, the parking lot, and we were walking in, and all we hear is this screeching, like, ridiculous sound, and we both were like scared out of our minds. We both screamed like little girls and ran back to my car and left, and we came back like 30 minutes later, and Travis was like, "Guys, where have you been?" We were like, "Sorry, we almost got eaten by a pterodactyl coming into the job." So yeah, happy birthday, buddy. I love you and miss you. I'll see you again someday.
Last year during chemistry, Josh and Travis used to always make fun of me because I would always wear sports bras with like almost anything, and every time he'd make fun of me I'd get so upset, and you know how much it upset me. And on my 16th birthday he got me a bra, and it was like 2 sizes too big. It was like a 36C, and it was just like the biggest thing ever. But I still have that bra to today, and I just like, I don't know, every time I see it in my drawer I think of him, and it's just like, I just always think about that, and I just definitely miss Josh, and happy birthday, and we all miss you.
Of Josh is when we were all at Panda and eating, and he said he didn't have money, so I told him I'd buy him food, and he was like, "No, I don't want anything." So we were all eating, and like anytime anybody would stop to talk, he would be like, "Oh my gosh, are you done? 'Cause I'll eat it. Are you sure you're not done?" So I just ended up like giving him like all of my food, and then he ended up paying me back for it all, and I was just like, "You don't have to," but it was just so funny because, I mean, Josh eating was not a surprise. But happy birthday, Josh. I love you and miss you.
My favorite memory of Josh. Well, it was after a playoff game, and it was starting to sprinkle after the game, and I told Josh I would give him a ride home because for some reason he didn't have a ride home. So we're across the parking lot, and Josh just started sprinting at me like a lion, like cheetah. I was afraid he was gonna get on all fours and like start barreling at me. So it's starting to pour rain at that time, and we pull up to the stoplight at school and look at him, and I put in neutral. He's like, "Chinese fries?" He's like, "Hmm." So we switch, and we're here, and he's like, "Oh, I can't drive standard, so we have to go woo back around." And we were soaking wet, and that was a time me and Josh really became good friends. So yeah.
Alright, it was me, Josh, Brandon Keeney again. We were all driving up to Chili's at Northwoods to meet his girlfriend and this girl I was talking to. And I got lost because I suck with directions. So I pull over at this gas station, and we're calling his girlfriend, and Josh is like, "You know what, Zach, I'm getting in the driver's seat. I'm tired of being lost." So the gas on my car, the gas pedal is really touchy. Like, you touch it and you fly. So he got there, and we were on the highway, and before we knew it, we were going like 100 miles an hour. And he looks at me like shaking the car and everything. He's like, I've never gone this fast before, man. I'm freaking out right now. I was like, just put on the brake, Josh. It's okay. Like, and he wasn't looking at me. He wasn't looking at the road. He was looking at me. So I was like, Josh, pay attention to the road, man. He's like, I can't. Everything's starting to blur. We're going too fast. And he started like swerving. It was honestly one of the scariest like times I've ever been in a car in my life. So it was, every time me and him hung out, it was always scary, funny, and awesome at the same time. So I love you, bro, and happy birthday.
My favorite memory of Josh is when Jake would come pick us up for school, and me and Josh would always make fun of Jake, and Jake would never know, and so it was even funnier. And I love the times when we would go run errands together, like getting their hair cut. It was just fun. Like, Josh would always make it fun, and like he would always make me laugh. I just really miss him. Happy birthday, Josh.
Decided to chill, saying how for college we were gonna go to UT together, and then we were just gonna chill, like have the most awesome like college like ever, and date all the hottest girls. And then after that, when we got married and had different kids, my son would be like the stud quarterback on campus, and his would be this like stud receiver. And then they would date all the hot girls in school and just be like the most awesome on campus. And then they would get drafted. Mine would play for Steelers and his would play for the Packers. And then they'd have another Super Bowl. And then they would be the best friends, and then we'd still be best friends. And when we're old, we'd be out on a porch, and we'd be like old men rocking, like really old. And we'd have like, in case someone came up, we'd carry like shotguns or something. It'd just be cool. And then we'd die old men together. That was the best. That's it though. Happy birthday, Josh.
One of my favorite memories of Josh was how he had so many different voices. I can remember this distinct one in my face, and if I probably did it, it'd be really embarrassing, but he would honestly always talk like a girl. One time I was walking in Miss Goodweiler's class, and he just walked in like, oh my god. I just turned around and it was Josh, and I started cracking up. Well, happy birthday, Josh. We miss you, and I love you very much.
Alright, so my favorite memory of Josh, I have lots, but one of the favorite things to do with Josh was actually we went off campus every day for lunch, and some interesting stuff happened. We actually we filled this microwave full of just like food. Like it was almost completely full, and it was just this huge plate of just a massive mountain of food like that big. And he decided to put it all in the microwave at one time and try to heat it up, which it doesn't really work. But it's still cool anyways because he eats everything, so he ate it cold or hot, whatever. That was really cool. And then like going and driving and stuff, he would always like be the craziest person. Like we'd always like bring back like a carton of milk or something, and he would try to chunk it at like every single sign possible that we passed by. Or like he would have a can and he'd be like I don't want to like break something, but like say this is a can. He would like, well, I'm done with this, and he'd be like hanging out the window, and he'd be like, I really can't wait to throw this away. Oh no! And he'd drop it, and it would like go fly out the window. And so those are really just cool things he would do all the time, just make us laugh. You know, it's Josh. What can I say? Happy birthday, Josh Hatcher. You're always here.
My favorite memory of Josh, oh man, where do I begin? I remember him and my sister, best friends. I remember him more as Uwa from back then. I always hoped that they would get married because then I could be brothers with Jake. And I don't know, I just remember more recently just driving him around everywhere whenever Jake was unable to. You know, just taking him to friends' houses and stuff like that. I remember up in the game room, me, Jake, and Josh would always be playing video games like Halo and Call of Duty, and me and Josh would team up on Jake, you know, because he was always the better video game player. I don't know, it's hard to think of Josh and not smile, you know. He's such a fun-loving kid. You always love you, man. You're my bro. We're always here for you, and I know you're always here for us. Happy birthday.
This was the last weekend that we hung out before Josh died, and we had our cars parked in his driveway, and we had our hoods popped, and we were just talking about how we were gonna go to the same college together and stuff, and we took pictures and all that, and then later in that day, we went to Cole's house and played the best game of beach rail that I've probably ever played. Yeah, when we said go, Josh kind of screamed like a banshee and pushed through the water like the water wasn't even there, like he was sprinting in midair. And I don't think I'll ever forget the look on his face when, oh my gosh. Yeah, anyways. So the last day we hung out, that's probably my favorite memory of Josh when we hung out. It was like, that was probably the best Good Friday I've ever had, because we had that day off of school. And I don't know, that's probably the happiest I've ever been, so happy birthday.
Alright, my favorite memories of Josh Hatcher would be, well, there's a lot, so. Schlitterbahn, running down the backsplash and ropes course, and probably the only one that could actually do it. Going down tube rides with our legs locked together so we'd make a huge Congo line. Racing down slides, saying those people's birthdays on the transport bus. Racing around the lazy river, trying to get the most pictures taken of us. Hanging out every Friday night at Gavin's, and it was cool. We were able to sit there and talk for hours. How we could spend hours together doing nothing, and it was alright. Playing random games like chess and Yu-Gi-Oh! And actually getting serious about it. Going to Heroes and Fantasies for hours. When you came flying into my room when I was still asleep and tackling me. Whenever we hang out, it was usually you on the computer and me on the Xbox. Everything was a competition. And going to McDonald's like it was a religion, and always getting hot and spicy McChickens. Playing Dance Central, and then getting the idea of playing Call of Duty like we were actually running around. Playing beach whales and sharks and minnows in my pool, and Josh was always the best. You just showing up to my house randomly, talking about random stuff, you know. Taking random and usually questionable pictures of ourselves, and of course playing nerdy games like Pokemon together. Driving around for absolutely no reason. When I had to drive you 3 times to New Braunfels so you could try to get your license. How you managed to break six traffic laws at once you got your license. When I drove you to school every day at the last half of sophomore year, and we were late every day. But you always brought me a drink, so it was okay. And our never-ending search for a car for me. Call of Duty. We were an unstoppable team. We really were the best. When Double XP came around, we put 2 TVs in your game room and played for 17 hours straight, which we were very proud of. When you first tried to beat Mile High Club, the hardest level ever, and you screamed so loud because you were so angry, and me and Gavin just laughed at you. School. Seeing you every day after first period, and you walking me to class, talking about the adventures we were going to have that day. I took you and Gavin to the beach for a full week, and it was probably the best time of my life, and I'm glad I got to spend it with you. Whether it was wrestling in the surf, or making epic sand couches, or making you into a sand mermaid. It was the best time of my life thanks to you. And there are probably so many more things for me to say, but I mean, there's just too many great memories for me to just sit here and list them off. And basically, Josh, I miss you like crazy, and not a day goes by that I wish I could relive the last Saturday we both hung out. We hung out, you know. And you're the best friend I've ever had, and you're probably the closest person I've ever been with. And I can't wait to see you again. So, as we used to say, Heartbreakers and life takers, brothers forever.